Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vrinda Devi 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 Vrinda Devi Jaya Vrinda Devi Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Shrimati Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Vrindaye Tulsi Devyai Priyaye Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Vrindaye Tulsi Devyai Priyaye Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Vrindaye Tulsi Devyai Priyaye Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Tulsi Devyai Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shrimati Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I bow down before you again and again. My desires obtain the service Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy upon him, you make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you also grant me a residence in the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan. Thus within my vision, I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow the cowherd damsels of Vraj. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise, may I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Shrimati Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutane Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Uravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashtatadisa Tarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri
Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
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 Gopishana Vallabha Girivardhari
Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari
Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana
Vallabha
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajajana
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Braja Jananandana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana
Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Jaya Paramakaruna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Jaya Paramakaruna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra, Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So we'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of our temple here, Hare Krishna Study Center, ISKCON of Guyana, Hare Krishna Study Center, to welcome each and every one of you who are joining us here at the temple, and also those who are online on Zoom, Facebook Live. Thank you very much for being part of our program this morning. So today, as we would have announced, we have with us very special guests. He'll be making today's Sunday Feast presentation. He's no other than His Holiness Bhakti Sundar Goswami Maharaj. Hare Bol. So I'll just like to read a brief introduction of Maharaj, and then we'll hear from His Holiness. So His Holiness Bhakti Sundar Goswami was born in Syria. He joined ISKCON in 1974 in Caracas, Venezuela, and was initiated personally by Srila Prabhupada in his visit to South America in February of 1975. In the 80s, he served as temple president in Spain and Venezuela. He has also been traveling and preaching for the last 40 years in Latin America, US, and Europe. In 2006, he has published his book, Srila Prabhupada in Venezuela, in Spanish, and also in later years, it was published in English. At present, he serves as an active member of the Latin America RGB, Regional Governing Body Commission, and a zonal secretary for Central America. So His Holiness is a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and we are very fortunate to have Maharaj with us. He has also visited Guyana many times. So Maharaj, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. So let us all welcome Maharaj once again by loudly Hare Bol 3 times. Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, over to you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One place. It's Chaturmasya time anyway. And I'm here in Mexico, in the farm called New Bahulaban. and it's raining practically every day. So it's okay. I'm preaching very often. It's Chaturmasya time on the internet, practically. And I'm here in Mexico in the farm. I'm glad that we can share some thought on the upcoming Krishna's Janmashtami today. So, would you like to read something? Do you have prepared something to read? Something short? And we can comment about that. As we can do that also, or just, remember the Shastra and what Srila Prabhupada said about Janmashtami. All right, so in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Jamma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha tyaktva deyam punar jamma naiti mameti sarjuna. My dear Arjuna, those who understand the transcendental nature of my birth and activities as divine, they don't take another birth in this material world, rather they come back to me, Krishna says. So, to understand Krishna in truth is very, very important, because unless we understand the philosophy, we can't really accept it, So we have to keep hearing until we understand. Once one understands the Krishna conscious philosophy, one accepts. And when there is acceptance, then there is conviction. Yes, I must practice, I must chant Hare Krishna, I must follow the four regulative principles, I must associate with devotees, I must read the Shastra, and try to give up the anarthas and make spiritual advancements. So when there is actual hearing and understanding and conviction, then one can take determination. Of course, determination comes from controlling the senses, then one can have determination. Prabhupada said that Gandhi was very determined to free India from the British government, because he was practicing celibacy at a young age, at the age of 30 or something. So anyway, determination is important in spiritual life and comes with the controlling of the senses. So to understand Krishna in truth, Krishna's birth, Jamma, from Shastra we know that Krishna appeared once in a day of Brahma in this material universe, in this particular universe. And when Krishna finishes pastime in one universe, he goes to another universe. And in that way, he visits all the universes. And Prabhupada said that all universes are the tiniest one, because the Brahma of this universe has only 4 heads. And the other universes, Brahma has many heads. Once in Dwarka, Brahma went to visit Krishna 5,000 years ago. And he was asked by the doorkeeper, "Who are you?" He said, "What do you mean? I am the only Brahma, the 4-headed Brahma, the creator of this universe." So Krishna noticed a little proud in that statement by Lord Brahma. So to teach Brahma a lesson in humility, he called all the other Brahmas from different universes, and they will not see each other. Every one of them believed that they were alone with Krishna. So when the Brahma from this universe went into the room, he, by Krishna's arrangement, he could see all the Brahmas there with hundreds and thousands of heads. So he felt himself like a little ant, So he fell at Krishna's feet, asking forgiveness for his pride. And anyway, Brahma spoke to all the Brahmas as one. Everything is all right in the universe. The demons are not giving too much trouble. Brahma said, no. By your mercy, everything is fine. We have them under control. How can I serve you? Krishna said, I just wanted to say hello, to know that you're fine. You can go to your universe, your planet. And all the Brahma paid obeisance to Krishna and left. One may ask a logical question. How all this Brahma could fit in a room in Dwarka, one of Krishna's palaces, if there are millions of Brahmas? Krishna's energy is not like our experience in the material world. He can expand not only himself, but also his abode can expand as much as he wants. For example, in Vrindavan, Krishna was walking every day, herding his cows from one place to another, and sometimes very long distance. And he will cover it, in short time. So the question also arises that such a long distance, was he running very fast? No. The spiritual world is like a lotus flower, can close and can open. So when Krishna wants to reach a place faster, he just have to shrink that place, the petal, to where he is, and he just jump in. So Krishna is wonderful, and everything he does is wonderful and supernatural, beyond our understanding. But at least we should understand that Krishna's appearance is not like the conditioned soul who appear after 9 months in the mother womb due to the sexual activity. No. It is said in Shastra that Krishna first entered Vasudeva's heart, his father's heart. And Vasudeva initiated Devaki, and he transferred Krishna from his heart to her womb. So in that way, Krishna appeared. So Jamma, although he's unborn, he's taking birth. That's amazing. Even Queen Kunti was surprised, amazed at Krishna's activities. You are unborn, but still you take birth. That's very bewildering. Even pure devotee get really amazed and surprised and bewildered, transcendentally speaking, by Krishna's wonderful activities, birth and activities. So to understand Krishna in truth is so important that Krishna assured the person who really understands, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, of course, the truth about Krishna. Krishna assures that person that definitely that person will come to me. After giving up the body, will not return to this material world. Abrahma bhuvanaloka punaravarti narjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjamma navidyate. Krishna said, from the highest planet Brahmaloka to the lowest Pataloka, all of place of suffering and birth and death. But those who come to me, they don't have to take another birth again. So that is the purpose of human life, to love God, to serve Him, and to develop the desire to return to Him, to be in His eternal loving service. That's the highest goal in human life, to go back home, back to Godhead. But higher than even go back to Godhead is the desire just to serve without any other. Even the desire for liberation is not so important. That's why Lord Chaitanya in his Shastaka, he said, Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Bhavatat Bhakti Rahaitu Ki Tvayi. I only want your eternal service, life after life. That means he doesn't care for liberation. Why? Because he's already liberated. If somebody is already liberated, he don't care for liberation. And of course, liberation means to be free from material desires and to have the only desire to love and serve Krishna. That's the actual real liberation for devotees. Not just, to leave the body and go to Vaikuntha. No, that's not the goal. When Lord Chaitanya was traveling in South India, he met the Tattvavadis, the followers of Madhvacharya, and he spoke with them. And he told them, you are Vaishnavas because you accept the deity as the eternal form of the Lord and you serve the deity, so you are Vaishnavas. But your idea is by following strictly Varnashram Dharma, you will go back to Vaikuntha. That's your goal. But there is a higher goal than that. And that's Prema Pumarto Mahan, the develop love for God, Krishna Prema. That's the higher goal. So many truths are there we have to be aware of about our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. And generally people who are a little pious, they believe in God's existence. And those who are impious, they are atheists. Because they can't understand God, so just deny Him. But even more dangerous are the impersonalists. They say, no, of course there is God, but He doesn't have a form or name or qualities or activities. So they are denying Krishna. And that's why Lord Chaitanya said, Mayavadi Krishna Paradi. My Mayavadis are offenders to Krishna because they actually deny Him. But actually it's not Shankaracharya's fault, because he was following the Supreme Lord's command, who told him to preach this philosophy, personalist philosophy. And why the Lord did that? Because first of all, when Lord Buddha appeared, most people were following the Karma Kandiya section of the Vedas, which allow to sacrifice animal, for Goddess Kali and Durga, like that. So Buddha rejected the Vedas superficially, because he's an avatar, of course, of the Lord. And he said, ahimsa, no violence. So somebody who misuse the Vedas for sense gratification, killing animals, is a little better to be non-violent against the poor animals. And like sometime a mischievous student, the professor may say, okay, sit in a corner, do nothing, face the wall. So like that, Lord Buddha told them, okay, sit, meditate, at least you don't do any harm. So because Buddha rejected the Vedas, his philosophy became atheistic. So in order to introduce the authorities of the Veda again, Shankaracharya did that, but because people were mostly Buddhist, so he has to preach an impersonal philosophy, so what is easier for them to accept. But once the Vedas were established as an authority again by Shankaracharya, then Krishna sent great acharyas like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya to defeat the Mayavad philosophy. And they did, actually. They converted many impersonalists into Vaishnavas. So Krishna has this plan to help humanity in their ignorance. And since most people could not understand Bhagavad Gita properly, so Lord Chaitanya came to teach with this personal example how to be a devotee of Krishna, how to understand the truth about Krishna. So Prabhupada said all religions are looking for God, and we are presenting them God. Here is God, Krishna, accept Him. If you have a better candidate, present it. We are open-minded people. So far, no competition. I mean, God is one. God is not Indian, Hindu or Christian or Buddhist or Jew or whatever. No, it's only one. And He came to this earth. Some people say, no, God can't come to this material world. And who are we to tell God he can come? If that's his creation, if he wants to come, he can come. Anyway, so we have this wonderful information about Krishna's birth and activities, and we are celebrating in a couple days his appearance day. More than 5,100 something. So Krishna stayed in this material world for 125 years altogether. When he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, he was 96 years old, but his appearance was like a young man, 18, 20 years old, no more than that. I remember seeing paintings, the Vatican has a painting of God creating man by Michelangelo, and he painted God as an old man, white beard, white hair, wrinkles on his face. So I thought, why they allow God to be painted like that? And I came to the conclusion that must be because they know that God created the world, and that was so long time ago that for the time being he must be old. Many Christians believe, maybe some of them still believe, that the world was created 6,000 years ago, which is nonsense, of course. I mean, archaeologists have discovered things very ancient, 100,000, even million years old, to prove there were intelligent human beings always in this material planet, Earth planet. Anyway, so Prabhupada said, we are presenting them God. Here is God, Krishna. Accept him. But because people have prejudice, religious prejudice, and cultural prejudice, they don't want to accept. Anyway, we try our best to present Krishna as he is actually. Ekala Ishvara Krishna Ara Sababritya. There is only one supreme controller, and that is Krishna, and everyone else is his servant. Even Lord Balaram, he considered himself a servant of Krishna. Actually, he served Krishna in so many ways. He expanded himself in all the ornaments and the throne and the shoes and the land of Braja. That's expansion of Lord Balaram's energy. So he himself considered himself a servant of Krishna. What to speak of everyone else? So when Lord Chaitanya was preaching the philosophy to Sanatana Goswami, he told him, Jiver Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. That's the position of every living entity, to be eternal servant of Krishna. So that's the actual conclusion of all knowledge. Of course, we do respect, other religions because they accept God. That God is the creator of this universe. We all agree on that. And other things, of course, the soul and eternal life. Of course, they need more knowledge about God, because even Jesus said there are more truth to be told, but you are not ready to understand. And of course, people also in India and also in the West Indies, they like to worship demigods for material benefits. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, those who worship demigods are less intelligent because they worship me indirectly. We offer all respect to the demigods because they are servants of Krishna also, of course. But love and devotion is only for the Supreme Lord. So it's very important to understand also, Krishna has 64 transcendental qualities. And the soul, when it is liberated, uh, when it goes back to Godhead, the soul has until 78% of those qualities, which means 50 qualities of the 64. Lord Shiva, Mahadev, he has 84 of those qualities, which means 55 of those qualities. And Lord Narayana of Vaikuntha, he has 60 of those qualities, 93%. So Krishna has 4 qualities exclusive to him. No other avatar of Krishna has those 4 qualities. And those qualities are Rupa Madhurya, his beautiful transcendental form, so beautiful and sweet. Venu Madhurya is the sound of his flute, the magical flute. When Krishna plays the flute, can be heard all over the universe, reach even Shivaloka and Brahmaloka when they start meditating on the sound of Krishna's flute, and they get into ecstasy. And Krishna is Lila Madhurya, is beautiful pastime, especially his childhood pastime. And also Prema Madhurya is surrounded by the gopis who have so much extreme pure love for him. So those are 4 the qualities that are exclusive to Krishna. So from the Shastra, and from Prabhupada's teaching also, we can develop an attraction to hear more and more about Krishna, and to develop the desire to serve Krishna eternally. Because he has so many beautiful, good qualities, and he's so kind and merciful. No? When Uddhava was speaking with what is his name? Vidura. He was speaking with Vidura, and they were discussing about Krishna. So when devotees come together, they remind each other about Krishna, naturally. And they feel happiness to discuss about Krishna, to share their love for Krishna. So Uddhava was remembering Krishna. In one moment, he was in the spiritual world because he became totally absorbed in Krishna. And the next moment, he came back to external consciousness in this material world, and he was speaking to Vidura, and he was lamenting. Uddhava was lamenting that Krishna left to the spiritual world, and he left me behind, feeling a separation. Actually, the demons who were killed by Krishna are more fortunate than me, because they died seeing Krishna's beautiful face. But I am less fortunate because I'm here feeling a separation. So that's the mentality of devotees. They even praise the demons because they died seeing Krishna. Of course, the demon, they help also Krishna Lila, because that way Krishna, by killing them, becomes more, known, more famous. And devotees discuss his wonderful activities. So when Krishna comes to the material world, there are 2 kinds of activities he performed. One is Nitya Lila, the eternal pastime, and the other one is Naimitika Lila, occasional pastimes that he only performed in the material world, like killing the demons, for example, or taking birth. That happens only in the material world. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, even hearing about Krishna's killing demons is very good for the conditioned soul, because every demon represents some anartha. And by hearing about that particular pastime, we can cleanse our heart from those anarthas and advance in spiritual life. So everything Krishna does is good for everyone. Huh? And Krishna controls time and space. He's not controlled by time and space. You know, when the sage Narada went to see Krishna in Dwarka, he saw Krishna doing different activities in each and every palace. Not only that, in one of the palaces, Krishna has to do a yajna at noontime. But in all other palaces, the time was different. You know, maybe it was in the evening. But in that palace was noon. So time adjusts to Krishna's will accordingly. And they are servant of Krishna. Time, space, everything is Krishna's servant. Anyway, the other day we were reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we read that Krishna is dressed by the 10 directions. You know the 10 directions, no? South, east, west, north, you know, and there is southeast and all this, so that's 8. And down and up, altogether 10 directions. So Krishna is surrounded by the 10 directions. He's everywhere. He's everywhere in every atom in the creation as Paramatma. But at the same time, he's in his eternal abode. So when Bhumi Devi went to pray to Lord Brahma to please help her because the earth planet was full of demons and she needed help, so they went to the Milk Ocean, the Svetadweep, that says pole star, and Brahma was praying for the Lord to come as an avatar to the material world. And Krishna agreed to do that. So I mean to say, we can't have a practical evidence, scientific evidence, there is a milk ocean in the pole star. There is no way to prove it. But we accept that truth based on the Shastra, the Vedas, the authority of the Vedas. So either somebody accept the authority of the atheist, scientist, or accept, you know, the knowledge of the great sages like Vyasadeva, who gave us the Vedic knowledge, and we accept as a truth because God knows His creation better than anyone else. When Prabhupada was told about the Big Bang Theory, that there was an explosion and all that, this cosmic soup, Prabhupada said the scientists weren't there when that happened, so they can't know. They only say maybe, perhaps, it could be. Prabhupada said that's not science, that's mental speculation. That's just theory. They can't prove their theory. And it's based on their ignorant knowledge because they don't accept the spiritual authority. They want to give their opinion, but they don't cite any authority. And they are imperfect human beings. You may manufacture the biggest telescope, very powerful telescope, but you have to see with your eyes, so your eyes are imperfect. So how can you know everything in the universe? But if we accept the Vedas are given by God, by Krishna, you can know perfectly everything about Him, about His creation, about this universe. I remember when Prabhupada went to Venezuela, February 75, in one morning walk, he started to speak about the heavenly planet. He said there is one planet in heaven where the Mount Sumeru is there, and the peak of that mountain is made of pure gold. And the top of the mountain grows mango trees. Each mango is the size of an elephant, Prabhupada said. When those mangoes become very ripe, they fall from the mountain and they form a Jambu Nada, mango river. And when both sides of the river, the shores, dry up by the sun and the wind, they become gold. So the demigods, they come with their wives in their airplanes, and they take this gold and make necklaces and bracelets and ornaments. They don't have to work very hard to go to the jewelry store to buy some ornament for their wives. No, it's free there. Prabhupada said, where is the gold here? Only plastic and paper. Anyway, so the actual richness of human society, Prabhupada said, is the land and the cows. If we grow food from the land and we protect the cow, we have practically all our needs covered. So Krishna was using a stick to herd the cows, and Balaram used a plow, which represent agriculture. So both activities, growing food and protecting the cows, are most important activity for human society. Unfortunately, they are not. Most people don't care about that. They prefer to kill the animals in slaughterhouses. Very unfortunate situation in the world. And all this COVID thing is a big, big reaction to so many sinful activities going on in the world, killing animals by the millions every day, abortions, horrible things going on. And naturally, the reaction will be there. The suffering will go on. I read recently that some statistic, like 700,000 people died from COVID in the whole world. So that's a big number, I mean to say. So devotees, it's good you're taking precaution. I saw many devotees with cover, that's very good. Very good. One should take all precautions, at the same time depend on the protection of the Lord, the mercy of the Lord. And devotees are celebrating all these festivities online mostly. We are connected with the whole world. We usually don't do that before the COVID. But now, this can go on always, from time to time, we can invite different Vaishnavas and have a Krishna Katha, Hare Katha. That's so important, very important activity. So anyway, another example of Krishna how control the time and space is, for example, suppose a pure devotee offered Krishna a nice bhoga feast on Janmashtami 1,000 years ago. And now, if Krishna wants to test again those preparations, he's testing them like ready-made, fresh. Time and space doesn't control Krishna. He controls them all the time. So when Brahma wanted to test Krishna's powers, Krishna's divinity, he stole the cowherd boys and calves from Krishna. According to the Garga Samhita, his intention was to take them to Brahmalok. But Krishna is more clever. He's omniscient. He knows everything. So he took the shape of Brahma and arrived in Brahmalok before Brahma. And he told the doorkeepers, there is a pretender Brahma. He may come here anytime. Deny him entrance. He's not the real Brahma. I'm the real Brahma. And I'm going to put the password. You can ask him. If he doesn't know the password, he's not me. He's not the real Brahma. He's a fake Brahma. So Brahma could not enter his own planet. That's why he returned to Earth. And that round trip took 1 year, earthly years. Anyway, when he came back, he put the cowherd boys and the calves in the cave in Govardhan Hill and covered with a big rock the entrance. and he went to see what Krishna did in the meantime. Of course, Krishna expanded himself on all the calves and cowherd boys. Even their mothers could notice, because each and every soul has a particular personality, way of acting or speaking. But Krishna did it so perfectly, nobody noticed. But the mothers, the elder gopis, they noticed something. Of course, they love their children, but always they love Krishna even more. But they start to wonder how wonderful is now that we love our children the same as we love Krishna, with the same intensity. That's wonderful. Something magical going on. Even Balaram was surprised when he saw a cow on Govardhan Hill going downward with such a speed that he thought, what's going on? And because the calf, Krishna, was at the foothill, and she was licking the calf's body and giving him her milk. So that calf was already grown up, didn't need to drink milk, was already grazing. So that's why the cowherd men came to separate them. But as soon as they saw their children coming, which were Krishna's expansion, they forgot the cow and they were to hug their children and smell their head and cry in ecstasy and out of extreme love. So Balaram was witnessing all this and wondering, this is far out, something magical going on in Vrindavan. Of course, always something transcendental going, but this time was something more special. So Balaram asked Krishna, what's going on, Krishna? There is something you're hiding from me? No, Krishna said, all this happened when the day of your birthday, because that day, Nanda Maharaj asked you to stay at home since it was your birthday. And in that day, I killed the Agasur demon and also Brahma kidnapped. And you didn't know about it. Well, you didn't know because Krishna didn't want him to know, of course. That's all pastime. That's the beauty of pastime. Means we have the eternal time to do anything, everything for his pleasure. So it's called lila, pastime. Eternity, enjoying. So that's the purpose of life. Once a reporter asked Prabhupada, what is the purpose of life? Prabhupada said, the purpose of life is to enjoy. But you don't know where real enjoyment is. You think enjoyment is in drugs and sex and alcohol and all these things. But real enjoyment is in the spiritual life and serving God, serving Krishna. That's the highest pleasure. Anandamayi Vyasat. The Vedanta Sutra said, Anandamayo Vyasat. Krishna is the fountainhead of all ananda, all pleasure. Being part of him, we also need this pleasure to be happy. Spiritual pleasure. We need a spiritual shelter and we need a spiritual food. Not only in the form of Krishna Prasad, but also the food to hear about Krishna. Krishna Katha. Shrimbatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Idantasto Yavadrani Vidhunoti Surit Satam. That Krishna is seated in the heart. And as soon as we hear and chant properly about Krishna, he cleans the heart from all dirty things. And to hear properly means with rapt attention. Rapt attention. And that comes when we understand the importance, vital importance of the subject, and we are convinced. Then we can actually make spiritual progress. Krishna will clean our heart when we hear properly, means with attention and the association of devotees. Then we can understand the subject properly and we can make further progress, further advancement in the spiritual life. So we can go on discussing Krishna's wonderful Leela. There is Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. His holy name, his beautiful form, transcendental, eternal form, His wonderful qualities, and Leela, His eternal pastimes. So, please, if you have any comment or question, you can raise your hand any moment, and Hari Sankirtan Prabhu can allow you the mic to ask your question, or you can write your question also as you like, any moment now, from now on. So we have a few more minutes until 11, so we can discuss a little bit if you like the idea. So please feel free to go.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh,
Sorry, Maharaj. This morning, it was wonderful to have you here in Guyana without a ticket. We can have you live to give lecture for our Sunday feast here. I was thinking that when you quote the verse from Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Devyam, but later on in the beginning you said that although that verse says that when one who understands the Lord's appearance and activities, that upon leaving this body he will return. But your comment was that the devotees does not desire to go back. The devotee only desires service, or that service is mukti, that service is liberation. Can you elaborate a little bit more? Because I'm thinking that most of us come to devotional service, we are thinking that we want to go back home, back to Godhead, we want to finish with this material world.
we should develop the desire to go back to Krishna. That's a good desire, undoubtedly. But the complexity of the subject is that once a devotee becomes a pure devotee, he's always with Krishna. So, like Uddhava, he was transferred to the spiritual world in few seconds, and he came back. So a pure devotee is already with Krishna. He's already in the spiritual world. So in that sense, he doesn't need liberation because he's already liberated. Actual liberation means to be free from material desire and have the only desire to love and serve Krishna. So once somebody reached that, that's even higher than going to Vaikuntha, So it depends on the spiritual advancement of each person, on their level of purity, how they take this statement, from Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada said, if somebody is Krishna conscious, is absorbed and thinking of Krishna, serving Krishna, he's already in Vrindavan. Although his body may be in Guyana or America or Mexico or Europe, whatever, is actually in Vrindavan. If you remember Krishna and serve Krishna, so we have to understand this complexity of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. What it means to go back to God? It means now we are Krishna conscious. And if we become fully Krishna conscious, then we are like Narottam Das Thakur, his song, Vishaya Chariya Kabe Shuddha Have Mam, Kabe Hava Rabo Shri Vrindavan. When my mind will be free from all Vishaya, all worldly desires, then I will be in Vrindavan. I will be able to see Vrindavan. So it all depends on the consciousness, because at the beginning we think, I want to die, go back to Godhead. No, we have to go back to Godhead before dying. Meaning, be Krishna conscious all the time, to be absorbed in Krishna Katha and Krishna Lila. That's the subject. That's the important of being Krishna conscious. Now. No. So I hope that answers your question.
Hare Krishna. So if anyone else have any question, you can put. Hare Krishna. If anyone else have any question, you can write. If you're on Facebook, you can type your question. Or if you're on Zoom, if you want to type, you can also type. Those who are on YouTube, I don't know what you will do, but there is a question there, Maharaj, in the chat. You can see it.
I will read it. This from Aditi Uncha. Hare Krishna Maharaj Pranam. What are the Nitya Leela of Lord Krishna and how is played out in this world? Well, the Nitya Leela of Krishna, when he comes to this world, are all his activities, except killing the demons and his birth. Everything else is Nitya Leela. Eating is Nitya Leela. Stealing the yogurt, dancing with the gopis. All these things are Nitya Leela. Eternally going on. One may say, well, Krishna start eating and finish eating. So how is that Nitya, eternal? Well, because he keep eating in every universe. He doesn't stop eating. It's going on forever. So, anyway, but the demons, there are no demons in the spiritual world. There are only rumors. Sometimes there are some rumors. The demons are coming. And but no demons actually. Of course, according to Sanatana Goswami Bhagavatamrita, even in the spiritual world in Goloka, Krishna goes to kill Kamsa in Mathura, and he goes riding on Kaliya and comes back the same day. But of course, there is no Kamsa there. So Yoga Maya create an illusion of, spiritual illusion of some Kamsa, and Krishna kill him and come back to Vrindavan. So this is amazing. To know about Krishna Lila is very important. All Krishna's activities when he come, are Nitya except the demons and the birth pastime. Everything else is forever. Because he finished here and he goes on. Another question by Nikit.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
I,
Yes, please.
I am the son of Nikunja Nibasini.
Yes.
And this question it is not about the story. This is about a other story that I don't understand in a Krishna Lila.
Yes.
It's because I don't understand why Brahma captured the little cowherd boys when they when they when he was a very nice devotee of Lord Krishna.
Yes. Why he did stole the children? And of course, Brahma is a great devotee, undoubtedly. So the question is, why, being a great devotee, Lord Brahma, why he stole the children and the calves from Krishna? That's a very good question. Brahma was bewildered by Krishna's spiritual, wonderful Leela, because he saw Krishna carrying his friend on his shoulders, eating some yogurt and fruit from his hand like this. So he was, oh, is he the same Lord Vishnu who gave me birth, my father. I mean, I need to test him to be sure that he's the same Lord. So Brahma didn't want to, to offend Krishna at all or his friend. He just wanted to test Krishna's power. That's all. Of course, Krishna is very kind and merciful. He didn't take offense. He forgave Brahma. So why he did it? He just to increase Krishna's pastime. So more wonderful lila will happen. And we will be discussing about it right now. And devotees will be reading about it and get purified. So the bewilderment of Lord Brahma wasn't material, was spiritual. Was influenced by Krishna's spiritual energy, spiritual potency, not material. We have to understand that. Of course, no harm was done. They were just sleeping. Although Prabhupada comments something very interesting in the 10th canto. He said the same way that Ravana was given Maya Sita, in the same way Brahma also something similar happened to him. So that's a mysterious statement by Prabhupada, because we know Krishna expanded himself, but at the same time, Prabhupada is saying that something actually happened similar to what happened with the Maya Sita and the actual Sita when Ravana was kidnapping. So just a thought. Hare Krishna. So I hope that answered your question. I saw some written question here. Let me read it. Nikit Hansini is asking, what's the best service one can do on Krishna Ashtami? The best service one can do in Janmashtami, Prabhupada said, the first Janmashtami, happened in the West. Prabhupada kept the devotee all day reading and chanting. Read from the Krishna book, 1 hour, then chant japa 1 hour, then do kirtan 1 hour, like that, or half an hour, whatever. But all day reading, chanting, and doing service, do garland, cook some offering for Krishna. Whatever service you can do, one has to keep oneself busy all day. Not only in Janmashtami, every day, but especially this day on Janmashtami, we should try all day be absorbed in reading, chanting about Krishna, serving Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, thank you very much for your presentation this morning and to give time for questions also. And we want to thank all the devotees to ask questions and to make the forum this morning much more interactive for all of us. We want to thank the devotees from all across the region, Caribbean, the rest of South America, of course across Guyana, Panama, Mexico, wherever devotees are joining from. Thank you all very much. Maharaj, finally, before we go for the Arctic, any final advice you have for the devotees in Guyana and across the region? It is pandemic, of course. It is not live as usual. But what advice you have for us, how we can take part in making adjustment and at the same time imbibe the spirit of Janmashtami?
Wonderful service there, I'm sure. Yeah, we all shall take all precautions to protect us and the devotees from the COVID. At the same time, depend on Krishna's protection and do our best to be engaged in Krishna's service. Prabhupada said there is no material impediment to serve the Lord. I mean to say, even the Bhishma Dev was lying on a bed of arrows. He could not stand up, but he welcomed everyone with his mind and offered respect to Krishna and the great sages. So there is no material impediment to serve Krishna and his devotees. If you really want to do that, there are ample opportunities. So we have to keep busy ourselves and thinking of Krishna and serving Krishna, and understand this pandemic going on is an opportunity to devotees come closer and to become more united and forget the differences and try to see that we may die any moment. I mean, this material world, every step there is danger. So devotee must come more united and forget about all this politics and all these things which deviate us from the actual purpose of human life, which is to serve the Lord and to serve his devotees and develop love of God. That's the actual goal of life. So thank you for the opportunity again to speak some Harikatha, and my all best for the Guyana devotees and all the devotees who are hearing us now. And please take care and always be happy in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj and Hare Krishna all the devotees. So we'll be going for the beautiful Artik ceremony to their Lordship Shri Shri Paramakarna Nitai Gaurachandra here in Georgetown, Guyana. Just a little highlight for Janamastami. We will be having our regular Artiks and our regular daily schedule of the programs. It's just that everything will be virtual, or most of it will be virtual. So devotees can tune in wherever you are. You can attend Artik, you can attend lectures, you can participate in kirtan and bhajans. It will be aired live on YouTube, Facebook and Zoom. We will be sending out all those information, so somehow or the other you can connect and let us all celebrate Krishna Janamastami. The only thing is that you wouldn't have that midnight feast, but you will have to cook your own feast and offer to Krishna and enjoy Krishna Prasadam after we fast till midnight on Tuesday. And then of course Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja on Wednesday the 12th. So thank you all very much. We will be going for the beautiful Artik of their Lordship. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Gaurachandra Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. So everyone, whatever position you are standing now, please remain there throughout the Artik. Thank you. Jai Shri Shri Paramakarnitai Gaurachandra Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatarine.
Astatari Satarine
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Raya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
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 Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita.
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita.
Hare Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita.
Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita.
Shri Rup Shri Sanatana Bhatara Guna.
Shri Rupa Shri Sanatan Bhatara Gunata.
Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasara Guna.
Shri Diva Gopal Bhat Dasara Guna.
Hare Raya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha.
Hare Raya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hare Raya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha.
Hare Raya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jaya Paramakaruna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Jaya Paramakaruna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Paramakaruna, Nitai Gaurachandra, Paramakaruna, Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Panchatattva, 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 Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada,